Guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about my top 10 books that I read in 2022. So I read in total, I think 66 books, 67 soon, because maybe 68, because there's 2 books that I am pretty breezing through right now that I'm currently reading, but I'm not going to include those in this video, obviously, because I haven't finished them. But I just wanted to shed some light onto the 10 books that I personally think stood out the most for me during my year of reading. This year, it was actually, I would say it's pretty good. I think I got a lot of favorites, definitely. I definitely did. So if you are interested in seeing that, keep watching. These are going to be in like no specific order because I can't do that to myself. I'm going to just go through the books and then talk briefly about some of them and why I loved it. So some of this is kind of cheating because I do have like series in here, but it doesn't matter. It's my channel, so who cares? The first book that I am going to mention is From Luke Off With Love by Mariana Zapata. This is the very first book I think I read this year, actually, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It's like a brick of a book. I always say this whenever I talk about Mariana Zapata. This is the first Mariana Zapata book I read, and it definitely cemented like a high standard for her books from now on. It's a slow burn, rivals to lovers romance, and it's 2 competing ice skaters, which I have not read something like that before, so, and I suggest everyone to read this. It's just really, really good. The next book that I'm going to talk about is As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. Okay, so the only reason I'm talking about this specific one is because this is the only one I read in 2022. But this book made me cry. This is part of the Good Girls Guide to Murder series, for those who don't know, absolute favorite series of all time. And this is the last book of the trilogy. And it's a girl named Pip who follows a case on herself this time. So it's just so good. Not gonna say anything, just get the first book, read it, and all of it is so good. They're so good. It made me cry. Another favorite of mine is Honey and Issue's Guide to Fake Dating. I think this is one of the first sapphic books I've ever read. It's not even the fact that it is sapphic representation. I mean, obviously that is too, but it's also Muslim representation or just South Asian rep. And I don't really see a lot of Asian rep in sapphic books in general, specifically South Asian. Even in romance as a whole, I just don't really see it. And in this, it has sapphics and South Asian representation. This is a really cute, fluffy YA romance book that I think everyone should read. I know some people are like, YA is too immature, but I think this is suitable for like even adults. Like adults will be cheesing at this, in my opinion. I'm not an adult yet. See you in 2 months. But I highly recommend it. I really loved it. And I definitely saw myself in both of the characters here represented. And I love this book so much. Another book is I believe this is YA, and it's You've Reached Sam. This ripped my heart out. This I cried so much. This isn't, I mean, I think it's categorized as a romance, but I wouldn't say this is definitely not a normal romance book for those who don't know what this is about. Basically, this girl, her boyfriend dies, and then she gets a call from him, or like she calls him and he picks up, and she has that way to like communicate to him. It's expect to cry. If you are one of those people who like their heart ripped out of your chest when you read, definitely pick this up. This has changed my life. It's also a fairly thin book, but I want to reread it just to like, the quotes in this book are so good, and the aesthetic of this book too, like setting wise and stuff too. There's like this coffee shop, there's a library, and like just in my head everything was super cute. I can't even like speak a lot of this. Like when I really like books, sometimes it's hard for me to talk so much. Either I talk way too much or I can't explain how much I care about a book. So I'm just gonna go through another YA book already that's on my top 10 list, and that is See You Yesterday by Rachel Lynn Solomon. Oh, if you haven't seen my Rachel Lynn Solomon author's guide video, go watch that. But this is her newest release for her YA novels, and it's so good. This is like not sci-fi, I don't know how to explain it. They're stuck in the same day over and over again together. And it's like enemies to lovers, but it's just Rachel Lynn Solomon just knows how to write banter that I eat up every single time. It's so adorable, it's so cute. It has Jewish representation, has Asian rep in it too, because the love interest is actually part Asian. This book in general, I've never read anything like it, and it's just super, super good. I think you should read this because it's like, I mean, they're like time loop. If you're one of those people who like judge books by the covers, look how adorable that is. I think that's enough reason for you to get it. Next is The Atlas Six by Olivia Blake, and oh, this book has altered my life. For those who don't know, this is like realism fantasy, and I'm not much of a fantasy reader myself, so this being on my top 10, you know it's good. For my standards, of course. If you don't like it, that's your opinion, you're valid. I don't agree with you, but you're valid. This also has artwork in it. For you guys who don't know, there's literal artwork in the book. And just the book is just so well written. It's so interesting. The plot, everything. I feel like I can't say much about this because I think it's best to go in blind. It got The Atlas Paradox, which is the second book to this. I got it for Christmas from my friend. Thank you, Sarah. And I'm so excited to read that. The next book is the last book in a series, actually, and that is Count Your Lucky Stars, which I recently finished this, and it's so good. Sorry. The only reason I didn't put, like, any of the other books in the series is because I liked those, but this one, I don't know what it was, but it was just so good, like so insanely good. And I saw like mixed reviews on this. For those who don't know, it is a interconnected standalone series where technically you can read it separately because it's about different couples, but it's better to read it in order. Sapphics for the win, I will say. That's all I'm gonna say. The last 3 books I'm going to mention are all series, so technically it's not like one book, but I'm counting them all as one book. I obviously had to mention the series, and that is the Kiss Quotient series. These three right here, you have not lived unless you've read them. This has Asian representation in it. It also has autism representation because all 3 books have autism rep in it. You don't see a lot of books with that representation in it, so I love that it shed a light on it. And also, these are so well written. No, it's in third person, and I know some people don't like reading third person, but it felt, well, the last book isn't first, but it felt like it was in first person while reading it, even though it wasn't, you know? All 3 of these are so good that I have to include all 3 if I was going to include one. I can't not include the whole series. The next one, like I said, is another series, and that is the Inheritance Game series. Besides A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, this is also one of my favorite YA mystery thriller series of all time. Jennifer Lynn Barnes just eats it up every single time whenever she's writing. It's so quick to read. I would always finish these books in an insane pace. This entire series, you could honestly, if you put your mind to it, finish it in like a day. I know I'm not like talking about these books, but I just want to say how much I love and appreciate them. And the last one is a series, and it's not complete, but I'm gonna include all the books that I read from the series, and that is the Addicted series. I'm sure you have heard so much about these books, and I only have the first 3 because I read these 3 all this year, and I loved every single one of them. And I have almost the entire series already because I bought the first one, read it, got the second one, read it, and then I was like, I'm hooked. I can't not finish it now. So I bought almost the entire series, or was gifted it. These are so good. It's about 2 addicts that fake date to hide their addictions from their family. And I know some people are like, why would you want to read about that? Trust me on this, okay? The found family in this, the love that the 2 main characters have for each other are like infinite. And I have never seen a romance the way I have read about these people. This might be cheating, but I will do an honorable mention because I completely miscounted and I put this in my favorites. Top 10 books this year plus this, and that is the Dreamland Billionaire series, which isn't complete yet. The 3rd book comes out next year, and I will be reading that as fast as possible. If you've heard me talk about these, I adore these books with my entire heart. This is like the epitome of Grumpy Sunshine in a series. And these books also, just like Rachel Lynn Solomon and Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Lauren Asher, I devour these so fast. Like, they're like thick, but I read these so fast. And the covers are absolutely stunning. Again, I can't include one without including the other, so just the Dreamland Billionaire series is the favorite. So those were my top 10 favorites. I know I didn't go into detail about the books, but I just kind of wanted to rave about how much I love them, so that was that. If you enjoyed this video, please hit a like button, comment down below what your favorite books were this year, and subscribe. I will see you next time. Bye!